Welcome to the memorial service of Lawrence A. Woodruff. I am Susan Boyer, Senior Pastor of the Laverne Church of the Brethren. Larry's family is deeply grateful that you have chosen to join them here in this online service to mourn Larry's death and to celebrate his living. Let me tell you a little bit about what you will experience in this service. You will hear from 3 different people: Meg Savella, a colleague of Larry's who served with him on the Azusa Educators Association; Larry's longtime friend, Bob Reed; and Tom Evans, Larry's son-in-law. Larry's daughter, Marin, and his granddaughter, Riley, separated by thousands of miles, will share in a duet thanks to the wonders of technology. Jonah, Larry's grandson, will read scripture. An ensemble from this church will sing Unclouded Day, arranged by Sean Kirchner, a song that Larry enjoyed singing with the church choir. Larry's wife, Judy, will play bells for Amazing Grace, accompanied by Sean Kirchner. You will see 2 videos put together by Larry's daughter, Kara. The first one shows what a saver Larry was. He even printed out his emails and saved them in hard copy. Larry had a hard time throwing anything away, and the video shows those treasures, along with just how many different organizations he took part. The second video captures his connection to family and friends. I want to point out that in the notes on this YouTube channel below this video, you will find an obituary for Larry that will give you even more information about his life. The Woodruff family wants you to know that they are grateful that you have tuned in to honor Larry's life among us. It is my prayer that the time that we spend together in this service captures the life of Larry Woodruff in such a way that it floods you with your own sacred memories of him. I pray that you feel God's Spirit close by, comforting you at the places where you are most aware of Larry's absence: the empty chair when playing Shanghai Rummy, or in the tenor section of the choir, or around the leadership table of the organization you serve together. I pray that you may rest in the assurance that you said, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Amen.
Hi, I'm Meg Savella. I have known Larry for over 30 years, and it has been a great joy in my life. I can't help but smile when I think of him, and it has just been my honor, my great pleasure to have had him as a colleague, a friend, a landlord, a mentor, someone who has been there for me through many trials and tribulations in my career and my personal life, and I'm thankful. I first met Larry in 1990. He was Judy's husband. That was his role. And then shortly thereafter, I knew him as Kara and Marin's father. Devoted, loving, there for them. In 1993, Larry became my landlord, and I knew him in that capacity. And that is when I really got to see the kind, gentle, caring listener, somebody who called me kiddo, who saw me like another one of his own children, and who just was there for us inside out, and will never let me live down the fact that I asked him to get us mauve carpet for our new condo. In 1995, I was blessed with having Larry as one of my colleagues in the union, and he sat with me, walked me through things, attended conferences, and it was just always an encouragement when I didn't know what I was doing and didn't know what page or what line to look on. In 1996, I joined the bargaining team, and Larry was the treasurer of the union and incessantly carried around these humongous bags full of just disheveled papers. But he always knew what he was looking for and always knew where to find it. Again, just walked me through life and helped me to become a seasoned pro in the end. Over the years, Larry taught me what it meant to be a dedicated teacher and what it meant to be a dedicated friend, a dedicated union leader that stood up for justice, that stood up for the rights of all people, that loved people's idiosyncrasies and taught me, and I learned to capitalize on people's strengths and look over those idiosyncrasies, because that's what made us a bigger, better, stronger union. I miss Larry. We all do. And when I hear somebody say, I had Mr. Woodruff as my driver's ed teacher. Wait a minute, how's that possible? I had Mr. Woodruff. He worked at my high school as the driver's ed teacher. He was everywhere. And I was proud to give him his 50 years of service recognition as a teacher. He will be sorely missed by me as an individual, by my family, by his group of colleagues of teachers, and in the union, because he was always there. I am very proud and excited to say that we are creating a scholarship, the Larry Woodruff Memorial Scholarship, in honor of our dear friend Larry, whereby each high school will be able to select a student who is going to go into the field of education to receive money in his name to further their education. Larry, you're worth it, every penny of it, and I hope that you're sitting next to the Lord and getting all those questions answered that you always wanted to ask. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak about my dear friend.
Most as you'll ever go is back where you used to know. If grown-ups could laugh this slow, whereas you watch the hours snow, years may go by. Years may go by. So hold on to your special friend. Here you'll need something to keep her in. Now you stay inside this foolish grin, though any day your secret's in. But then again, years may go by. Years may go by. You saved your own special friend, 'cause here you need something to hide her in, and you stay inside that foolish grin, when every day now secrets in. And then again, years may go by. Years may go by. Years may go by. Years may go by.
Hello, my name is Bob Reed, and I've been asked by Larry's family to share a few thoughts with you about our friendship and the fun and the things that we did together. I first met Larry in 1958. We were both 18, and we were in high school. He was at Norco, and I was at Poly in Riverside, and we became pretty good friends. We attended Methodist Youth Fellowship at the First Methodist Church in Riverside, and as friends do, I started visiting his home, and I met his mother and dad and his brother and sister, and they shared many meals with us, and Larry and I just sort of hit it off. After a short period of time, I went into the military, and Larry was off to college, and when I got back from the military, we ran into each other when I became a police officer for the city of Laverne in the mid-60s, and Larry was a college student at Laverne College. We continued our friendship, and we went to church together from time to time, and I was a member of his wedding party when he and Judy were married at the Brethren Church in Laverne on Bonita Avenue. And after that, we had young wives, but as soon follows, we had young children. He had Marin and Kara, and I had Kimberly, Brenda, and Robbie. And so as our families grew, we began to share outings together with each other, both in Laverne and in the mountains at Crestline. We would go camping up there. We had an RV and they had a cabin, and we shared many happy hours with fun and games with the kids and letting them swim in Lake Gregory and all of that. Over the years, we enjoyed many trips with them and vacations. We took cruises to the Virgin Islands, and we also took other cruises, and they were both fans of music, and they would take us to the Hollywood Bowl, and we would share music activities there and in other venues. They both enjoyed music, and it enriched their lives. They also were steadfast in their church. Larry participated in many choirs, as did Judy, and they were lifelong members of the Brethren Church there in Laverne. And we had the opportunity to grow together. Larry was interested in genealogy, and he and I would go to Salt Lake City and attend Mormon genealogy conferences and discuss genealogy as he searched for his family members, and I did the same for my own family. We, in recent years, have spent more time together. He recently retired from active teaching. He taught for more than 50 years that I know of, and I think he enjoyed every minute of it. Our friendship continued, and we grew together more and more as good friends, and he was a religious man and was a faithful person at the church, and I know that he's in a better place now, but I sincerely will always miss him, and I will look forward to our family continuing to help Judy and her girls in any way we can for the rest of our life. And may he rest in peace with God.
God bless. God bless you.
God bless you all.
Well, just that I've been losing so confront me with my failures, and I've forgotten them.
Hi, I'm Tom Evans, Larry's son-in-law and Kara's husband. I learned pretty quickly, even before Kara and I were married, that the Woodruffs were a family that spent time together. Dinners together were a very regular occurrence, and the family check-ins with each other, if not every day, almost every day. They also liked to travel. I mean travel together, everybody packed in a van. At first it was to Marin's ASO soccer tournaments and visits to see old friends. As the babies became adolescents, our range expanded and included Miller family reunions in the Midwest and civics tours on the East Coast. My appreciation for experiencing that time together has only grown over the years. Larry did enjoy his travels, both around this country and in Europe, but his character and his roots always brought him back to this same small area in eastern Los Angeles County. Larry was a young child when his family moved to Covina, and we all accumulate early memories in our childhood, such as best of friends, our pets, birthdays, spooky houses, and Friday night football games. For Larry, it happened right here. When he finished his education, Larry proceeded to teach, and for more than 50 years, at schools just a few miles from where he grew up. Most of my one-on-one time with Larry happened while running errands for the family. As he drove down familiar streets, memories moved him to speak. He had a habit of reading passing signs out loud. Maybe some of you experienced it. No vacancy, half off today, best burgers. He even used his voice to emphasize the message. I came to believe and appreciate that this was Larry and his way of enjoying the moment and sharing it with me. During these outings, he pointed out and told stories with pride about various restaurants or stories that he had a history with. Best tuna sandwiches right over there. But that's where I buy the donuts for my students. Larry was also a loyal customer. Same dry cleaner, Francis, 30 years. Same restaurants, Vince's for Italian, and that would be the one on Holt, not the one in Rancho. La Tolteca in Azusa for the best salsa, and pizza and stuff next to Baskin Robbins, where you could always count on seeing someone from the church. The same barber cut Larry's hair for 30 years. Larry was also a card-carrying member of Costco and a member of the Second Street Pool. This was all his personal neighborhood. Before I met Kara, there was no one like Larry in my life. I grew up in the Bay Area with reserved working parents and a brother 4 years older. I had an abundance of time by myself. After high school, I went to college in Los Angeles with an interest in film. My energy after graduating was on making a career, not building a community. My roommates substituted for family, and co-workers for friends. Both came and went. I wasn't feeling alone particularly. It seemed like a normal life to me. But I was young and naive. I really couldn't see the forest for the trees, and I didn't yet know what was missing in my picture. What I am grateful to Larry for is how he accepted me into his family and showed me his neighborhood. He did this without any conditions and without any explanation. It was all demonstrated through his example. For instance, he always acknowledged anyone who came into a room, always greeted them with a smile, always commented on the weather or a bit of current news. Sometimes you got an affectionate nickname from Kiddo, like Kiddo or Handsome. And he often answered the phone with a howdy doody. Larry stayed away from gossip or judgment. Have any of you ever felt judged by Larry? I believe he was always happy to see us. Most people feel a basic need to belong to something. But our pride quietly hopes that something will reach out to us. And I don't think that's the way Larry saw it. He was always welcoming people into his community. I don't think even Larry remembered how many organizations he belonged to, but we have stacks of certificates and awards to prove it. If there had been an award for most likely to be treasurer, he would have won. He loved to serve and be part of. While living through this time and watching Larry face his illness, it helped me to find a quiet room in the house and wonder what is important to a life well lived. The process of preparing this reflection was enlightening and a privilege. I know I have a lot to be grateful for, but without Larry to set an example, I might not have learned to appreciate what a wonderful community we have here. He seemed to understand innately the importance of connection. For many years, I watched him participate and serve and encourage and lift up and smile so many times and to so many people. I love you, Larry. God bless you.
I'm gonna love you like no one's loved you, come rain or come shine. High as a mountain, deep as a river, come rain or come shine. I guess when you met me, it was just one of those things. But don't ever bet me, 'cause I'm gonna be true. Well, if you let me, you're gonna love me like no one's loved me, come rain or come shine. Happy together, unhappy together, and wouldn't it be fine? Days may be cloudy or sunny, we're in or we're out of the money, yeah, but I'm with you always. I'm with you rain or shine. You're gonna love me like nobody's loved me. Come rain or come shine. Happy together, unhappy together, and wouldn't it be fine? Days may be cloudy or sunny, we're in or we out of the money. Yeah, I'm with you always. I'm with you, rain. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jonah Evans, Larry's grandson. Most of my memories of my grandfather, who we called Papa, were spent together as a family. He was a consistent presence and you knew who he was. He was going to tell the same jokes and he was going to greet you the same way when he walked in. He was always going to sit in the same chair, and no matter how much you begged him, he would open up his presents last on Christmas. He supported us in everything we did, from our sporting events to our recitals and our performances. I think he really loved being a big part of our lives, and he was such a big impact on mine. I'm going to be reading from the words of John from Philippians Chapter 1. Whenever you cross my mind, I thank my God for you and for the gift of knowing you. My spirit is lightened with joy in every prayer of mine for you all, because of your sharing in the good news from the first day until now. And this is my prayer, that your love may overflow more and more with knowledge and full insight.
Lawrence A. Woodruff was born in Detroit, Michigan, the oldest of 3 children. His mother, who was Syrian, was a nurse. Larry's father was a draftsman. When Larry was 7 years old, the family moved to Southern California because of his brother's health. When Larry was in high school, he attended Camp Colby, a Methodist church camp. He was asked to write a letter to himself there about his experience at camp, a letter that would be mailed to him 6 months later. He kept that letter his whole life. In it, he tells how he was appointed to the camp student council while he was there, which is a lifelong pattern that continued his whole life, serving in leadership positions in different organizations. He also writes of his decision to be a follower of Jesus. The letter ends with these words: I have pledged that I will accept Jesus as my Lord and Master and will try to follow his way in my daily living. Help me to make new friends and to make better grades in school. Make me more loving to others. And once again, this is the best camp I've ever been to. Remember your solemn promise. Love, Lawrence. Larry graduated from the University of Laverne in 1964 with a bachelor's degree in business and economics. He married Judy Miller in 1968. Together they had 2 daughters, Kara and Marin, and 2 grandchildren, Riley and Jonah. After college, Larry began teaching in the Azusa Unified School District. Larry taught for a record-breaking career of 56 years. He taught elementary, middle school, continuation school, and driver's ed. He also taught for AAA because he loved helping people get their driver's licenses or renew them. Larry loved to work. He took pride in his work. When he was in hospice care in the last days of his life, he would tell his family that he needed to get up and get dressed for work. Larry didn't just love working for the school district. He was a community-minded man. and the 15-year-old Larry who borrowed the camp dean's typewriter in order to take notes for the camp student council, continued this lifelong passion of serving and leadership in many different organizations. He served as the treasurer for the Azusa Educators Association, Hillcrest Retirement Association, the Pacific Southwest District of the Church of the Brethren, the Laverne Church of the Brethren, the Sanctuary Choir, the Los Vecinos Community Pool, and the California Association of Safety Educators. He served on the California Teachers Association Student Council. He was the legislative chair for the California Retired Teachers Association. He served on the Alumni Advisory Board for the University of Laverne, and he was a member of the American Driver Training and Safety Education Association. And he ran for school board. He was an active member of this church, the Laverne Church of the Brethren. He served here as a deacon, sang in the choir, and played the bells in both the bell choir here and at the Claremont United Church of Christ. These are just a few of the organizations in which Larry took part. You might call him a chronic joiner. Now, it would sound like he didn't have any time left, but he had other interests as well. He was interested in genealogy, which you heard about from his friend Bob. He collected stamps, coins, Bing and Grundle plates, and other people's business cards. He loved to travel. He loved trains, everything about them, traveling on them, listening to them, watching them. He liked being of service to others, whether it was driving someone to a doctor's appointment or waiting in the gas line at Costco to fill up the family car. But most important to Larry was his family. Larry was happiest when the whole family was together playing a game. Shanghai Rummy is the Woodruff family favorite. His family can tell you his favorite dad jokes, like if a dog was licking your face, Larry would always say, "I hope that dog has a liquor license." If they passed a garage sale sign, he would say, "Do you think they're selling the garage as is?" One of the ways Larry showed his care was by providing financial stability for his family. For those of you who knew Larry over the years, you know he had a signature move. It was the eyebrow flutter. I'm not sure how good I am at it. It was his way of greeting people. It might be accompanied with calling you handsome or kiddo. I can see him right now, moving his eyebrows at me and saying, "Hey, kiddo. Hey, kiddo." When Larry was 49 years old, he had a significant stroke. And for those of you who've had a stroke or have a loved one who's had a stroke, you know that determination plays a huge role in recovery. Larry Woodruff was a very determined man, which sometimes played out as stubbornness. His family might even call it controlling. The 15-year-old boy who wrote, "Make me more loving to others," continued to strive for that goal his whole life. He didn't always achieve it. He sometimes had a problem with anger, but he was a work in progress, as we all are. And as Larry aged, his edges softened, and he became more and more a person of gratitude and love. Every time I talked to him on the phone these last several months, he would tell me how grateful he was for the online worship services during this pandemic. And he would always tell me he loved me. As the nurses cared for him at Woods Health Services in the final weeks of his life, he never missed an opportunity to say to them, "I appreciate you." He made sure his family knew of his love for them. He became absolutely extravagant in his gratitude. And so Larry ended his life becoming more and more loving to others, just as he hoped when he was that 15-year-old boy at church camp. The words of the Apostle Paul make me think of Larry's way of being. "Whenever you cross my mind, I thank my God for you and for the gift of knowing you." Lawrence A. Woodruff ended his life in love and extravagant gratitude for the gift of his family and for all of you whose lives touched his. And so we can let Larry go with the assurance of God's everlasting love and know that Every time we remember him, we will thank God with extravagant gratitude for his love and service and presence. Amen. Family and friends of Larry Woodruff, as you miss Larry in the familiar places, as you think of him raising his eyebrows at you and saying, "Hey kiddo," may you be flooded with extravagant gratitude for this man of unstoppable service who labored in love, lived with purpose, and accomplished with utter determination. Let us thank God for him every time we remember him. Amen.
When I am gone, don't you cry for me. Don't you pity my sorry soul. What pain there might have been will now be past, and my spirit will be whole. I'll be on my way. I'll be on my way. I'll have left my feet of clay upon the ground. I will be glory bound. I'll be on my way. When I am gone, don't you cry for me. Don't you pity my sorry soul. What pain there might have been will now be past, and my spirit will be whole. I'll be on my way. I'll be on my way. I'll have left my feet of clay on the ground. I will glory bound.